we're getting up on things.
Yeah,
I'm not disagreeing with him.
yeah.
Hey guys, about ready to start? Yeah, so she goes, well, maybe, she goes, oh, maybe I'll get. Okay, I'd like to bring this meeting to order. The Village of Villa Park Board of Trustees meeting, October 9th, 2023. Clerk Konecki, please call the roll.
Trustee Alfano.
Here.
Trustee Cordova.
Here.
Trustee Corkery. Trustee Kozar.
Here.
Trustee Kumar. Here. Trustee Patrick. President Kazone.
Here. May we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together this evening. May we have meaningful discussions that will help us to assist our village in these trying times. Help us to make the decisions that will affect the staff, directors, and residents of Villa Park. Guide us through the challenges we face, and may we approach each other with respect and kindness as one group. In your name, amen. Okay, we'll move on to item number 3, public comments on agenda items. Clerk Konecki, is anyone signed up?
Yes. First one I have is Joe Amore for item 11C.
Good evening, Joe Amore, 309 East Mapleville Park. When I was going through the agenda packet for item 11C with the changes for the Tri-Trail connector, I was wondering, I never had thought that there was going to be a portion of that along Monterey. And that wasn't, and when we go to public meetings, that's where they're taking input. So I was happy to see that. However, I didn't see any artist conceptions of what the project was going to end up looking like in any of the information packet, even though you guys did a great job of putting informational signs around the route of the Tri-Trail connector with a QR code and a picture of what the design was. That design wasn't, it was more of a plat of what street layouts were going to be affected. It didn't really give the conception of how it was going to look. And my main concern was along Monterey, just as you leave the sidewalk on the west side to get into Prairie Path, there's a poured concrete sidewalk there on the west side of the Monterey, and then it drops off at where the property was when it was done for Ovaltine. They just dropped it off, and then people have to step down, and it's like 60-foot walk on gravel to get to the Prairie Path, even though access to that portion of the project has an ADA acceptable ramp. So when that is laid in, will there be an ADA accessibility along that sidewalk or whatever, how it's going to be created to get right up to the Prairie Path? So that was my number one question. And like I said, you guys did a great job of putting the informational signs out. I'm looking forward to construction starting. It's supposed to be starting today, if not this week. And thanks again. I mentioned this at the Village Coffee with the Board, but whoever created these shirts, great shirts, conception, you got to wear October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. My dad is actually was a breast cancer survivor before he ever got married, so it's an important subject for me. So thank you again, and if anyone here could answer that, I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll just check in with Public Works later in the week.
Michael, Director Guerrero, did you get the question? Do you have an?
Yeah, you maybe want to talk to Mike after the, or,
Okay.
yeah, probably be better, yeah.
Yeah,
You can talk to him
that's fine.
afterwards. He's got all the plans. Right, thanks, Joe. Okay, anyone else?
Yes, Cheryl Tucker has 3 different items, 10A, 11A, and 11C.
Hello. I'd like to address the board on 3 agenda items, as she mentioned, in the 3 minutes that you're going to provide me. I was not able to make the P&Z meeting. I just am asking the board to take into consideration not to give a variance to vacate the alley right-of-way for the following reasons. The village just spent money to improve that alley. The renters on Highland and Princeton who use the alley to access the parking spaces behind the building, and the renters on Ardmore who use the alley to get to and from their apartment. The alley is also used as a thoroughway for people who walk their dogs and ride their bikes, who use it to avoid the traffic congestion on Park, the crowds on Park when there are events going on the Prairie Path, and when Standard Mutual is open for business. 4, the alley is also a thoroughway for people using the alley from Cornell to Princeton, Highland to Ardmore to Princeton, to get to the Prairie Path, to get to events on the Prairie Path, and just to avoid traffic on Ardmore itself due to the congestion. They try to avoid that. I understand some people could argue with the new funeral home moving to Park and blocking the thoroughway and the parking for the people to get to the Prairie Path, that there would be yet less use of the alley right-of-way. But you could also argue the alley might be used more because more congestion on Park and less parking. How about 5? How about the businesses on Park and Ardmore that use the alley to get to the rear of their businesses? 6, there is also a question, if the village gives up the right-of-way for that alley row, will that give Shirley Funeral Home the ability in the future to restrict the use of the alley to the public? Could they extend their building into the alley so there would be no thoroughway to Ardmore and Princeton any longer? I'd like to address 11A. I'm asking the board to approve a contract and the change order for the construction at Lufkin Park. I believe the Park and Rec Department came up with a reasonable solution to the raising costs of labor and construction to keep the project moving forward with the OSLED grant and the funds from NESRA to get Lufkin Park back up to a functioning park again instead of just open space. I'd like to address 11B. I'm just asking the board to take into consideration what the funding is going to take. What funding will it take to complete the Tri-Trail and continue it moving forward? Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Just as a point, Cheryl, the alley that we're vacating is not the east-west alley. There's a 15-foot east-west, north-south alley on the west side of Sterling right now. That's the alley that we're vacating, not the,
They're not talking about the one.
not the east-west one from Ardmore.
Really clear in the drawing, which is well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
I have no one else.
No one else? Okay, anyone else? Public comments on agenda items? Okay, any amendments to the agenda? Trustee Cordova?
I know we're having a conversation on it, 14C, but I would like to make a motion to move public comments on non-agenda items, item number 13, to follow, well, to now. As opposed to at the end there. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion to move item 13 to after 4. Do we have a second on that motion? Trustee Kumar?
I will second that motion.
Okay, any questions or comments? Trustee Kumar?
I think you are proposing that to benefit people who want to make their statement and leave quickly.
Correct. Correct, and that's the idea behind the discussion of 14C. Just goes there.
I think it's a good idea. I brought it up last meeting. I would say yes to move it, but let's be a little flexible if somebody comes in late thinking that they had to wait till the end of the meeting. we'll see them here, so it'll be pretty obvious. We can find room for them if somebody wants to talk.
Okay. Okay, any other questions or comments? Clerk Konecki, please. This is to move item 13 to before item 5 on the agenda.
Right. Okay, trustee Alfano,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Cordova,
Yes.
trustee Kumar.
Yes.
President Casone.
Yes. Okay, so we will move public comments on non-agenda items to now. Anyone have comments on non-agenda items? Okay. Move on to item 5, proclamations. We have a proclamation recognizing Principal Appreciation Week from October 15th to October 21st, and a Principal Appreciation Day on October 20th, 2023. And the proclamation reads, whereas school principals play an integral role in the education and growth of children in elementary, middle, and secondary schools across the state of Illinois, and whereas school principals are responsible for promoting education and building relationships with parents and teachers to ensure that each child receives services that meet their needs to excel in the classroom. And whereas principals set the academic tone for their schools and work collaboratively with teachers to develop and maintain high curriculum standards, develop mission statements, and set performance goals and objectives for schools to achieve educational excellence. And whereas school principals are faced with extraordinary decisions and they show relentless determination to move education forward while serving their communities in a meaningful way. And whereas the Village of Villa Park recognizes our outstanding principals who have succeeded in providing high-quality learning opportunities for students, as well as their exemplary contributions to the profession. Whereas the Village of Villa Park hereby proclaims October 15th to October 21st, 2023 to be Principal Appreciation Week, and October 20th, 2023 to be Principal Appreciation Day in the Village of Villa Park in honor of the service of all elementary, junior high, and high school principals. I encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of school leadership so that every child has access to a high-quality education. In witness thereof, I, Nick Casone, hereunto set my hand this 9th day of October 2023, and definitely we'd like to all the principals that we have in Villa Park. They do a great job keeping the schools going and helping all of our students to be the best they can. So, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 6A is a presentation by the Community Fund Commission about the Autumn Jubilee that we just had last week.
Hello, I'm Carla Graff, Commissioner on the Community Fund Commission. This was our first Autumn Jubilee, and it was really a nice turnout. It was a beautiful day. I wanted to bring this to our town because I often see a lot of people doing things, leaving our town, to go to other towns, to go to events. And I know that to have stuff like that, you need the people who are going to volunteer their time to help put it together. So that was my reason for wanting to start this and for bringing it to the Fund Commission, because I thought they were the perfect group to help to put it on. So our vendor and booth lineup, we had food trucks of all kinds. We had candy of different kinds. Our craft vendors, face painting, balloon artists, henna tattoo, some locals, House of White Light. Tickle My Tamale food truck is actually also local. They live in Villa Park too. The next slide has some pictures of, it's okay. Some of our vendors hanging out, waiting for the crowds to come in. We also had some rescues We had a few dog rescues and our local Greater Chicago Cage Bird Society joining us. That brought in a lot of crowd as well. What else we offered was, we were calling it our creation station, where we had bags for kids to decorate. We also were guiding people to the Boy Scouts selling their pumpkins at Fuel Creme for their fundraisers, so they can buy the pumpkins and decorate them at our tables. That was a huge hit as well. And then we had a selfie station. Thank you to Mary and her husband for designing and painting their backdrop there for our pictures. And then we also had our first Buffy Awards. So you may have seen the signs around town that had, one side was our advertisement for the event, and on the back side was facts. And the signs were actually placed strategically based on what it was about, the location, maybe a building perhaps. So our team did a really good job putting that together and getting the community involved. People noticed it, people were commenting on Facebook, everybody was guessing different, the year something was built. It was great interaction, and the Historical Museum was very helpful to help provide a lot of that information. We had a lot of positive feedback on our Facebook page, that people really enjoyed it. They look forward to it again. People who missed it are hoping that it comes back next year. It was really a lot of positive feedback. Recommendations that some of people said that they would like to see there was live music, more items for the kids to play with so they can hang out a little bit longer, multicultural elements, adult beverages, but mostly everybody really would like for it to come back, so that was great to hear. And I just wanted to send a special thanks to our trustees for attending. It was really nice to see all your faces. We have our thank you to our liaisons. So for all their help and guidance in our meetings to help prepare along the way. And then a thank you to all of our commissioners who really put in a lot of time and effort.
Great. Well, thank you. Thanks for that presentation. It was very nice.
I thought you guys did a really good job. I was proud of what you did and proud of Villa Park. You blew it out of the water, or whatever the expression
Knocked
is.
it out of the park.
Knocked it out of the park, thank you. But did a really nice job. So thank you for bringing that to the community and for everybody to enjoy.
I heard, President, I heard a lot of positive things about it. I could not attend. I was leaving town to go to ICMA, but I heard a lot of positive things about it, and it was very well attended, so thank you.
Okay, move on to item 7, the consent agenda. Bill listing for the weeks of September 25th and October 2nd, 2023, in a total amount of $644,373.70, and approval of the minutes from the September 25th, 2023 regular meeting of the Village Board. And we have a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Kozar, do we have a second? Trustee Cordova, any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Cordova?
Yes.
President Cassell?
Yes. Item 8A is an appointment of Ryan Pizar to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission for a term beginning October 9th, 2023 until April 30th, 2025. And we have a motion for the appointment.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Cordova, do we have a second? Trustee Kozar?
Second it.
Any questions or comments?
I believe she's here in the audience, actually.
Oh. Hi. Hi, Ryan. Would you like to come up and say anything?
We just moved into Villa Park. My husband's from Villa Park. I'm from Elmhurst. Excited to get involved.
Great. Excellent. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for getting on the commission. Hey, go Clerk Kornecki?
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano?
Yes.
Trustee Cordova?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
President Kazal?
Yes. Okay, item 9A is the second reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending Chapter 14, Motor Vehicles and Traffic of the Village of Villa Park Municipal Code. And we don't have any reading on that, but anyone want to make a motion? This is the second reading. It was brought up at our last meeting on September 25th. We have a motion for the ordinance. Trustee Kozar?
Make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Alfano?
I have a second.
Questions or comments? Trustee Kumar?
So, the public alleyway you said is going north-south? This is the one?
This is not that
No,
one.
this is not.
And apologize, if I may, President Kazone. This is the parking along Villa Avenue, and if you're, looked at page 91 on the packet, if you're using the PDF version, it shows that there's a segment on the west side of the street which corresponds to the length of where there are two southbound lanes, and basically trying to disallow parking on that side so that there is no, it doesn't block the road when you have three cars abreast.
That's kind of a tricky intersection, because at Madison, it's a right turn lane.
Right.
And so the left lane of that southbound is to go through, and then you have a right turn lane, so. Chief, did you want to say something? No. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's the reason, to get
Okay.
the no parking that far back.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
Okay, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Cordova?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano?
Yes.
President Kazal?
Yes. Okay, item 10A is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, Illinois, approving a zoning map amendment variation, the final plat of subdivision, and vacating the alley right-of-way for the property located at 350 South Ardmore Avenue, Villa Park. Manager Harline.
The petitioner is requesting an approval of a zoning map amendment for the rezoning of Lot 6 in Parcel 2 from MXR2 to MX2, and is requesting a variation from Section 7.6.1 to allow parking in the street yard. The petitioner is also requesting a plat of subdivision to vacate a 15-foot public alley that runs north and south, and consolidate 7 lots, including the alley. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing on September 14th, 2023, where they recommended approval of the request by a vote of 5-1. The applicants are in the audience if you have any questions, and as well as our Community and Economic Development Director, Mark McLaughlin.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Kumar?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Cordova? Okay, any questions or comments?
Yeah.
Trustee?
Okay, so this is the north-south that they're,
It's a,
and
correct,
is
it's a
this because
15-foot
of-
alley connecting Highland and the east-west alley.
is
and
this
it's right
because
behind
of
the building.
the development coming there, that space is needed?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because this will be parked,
Because
that'll be actually part of the
We gave
parking.
already a variance to the developer to develop certain part of an alley, and so is this the other alley, or how is this working out?
I think you're thinking of 27 West Park.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not allowed to touch that alley.
okay,
His development is not going to affect the alley.
okay.
That was one of the variances.
We didn't allow that variance, right? That's the variance we did not allow. He asked for it originally.
Boy, that I don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
So, the petition that we're looking at
Mark.
right now,
Thanks. I know, this is not for that person.
No.
Yeah.
so the petition that we're looking at right now is completely separate and standalone from 27 West Park.
Okay,
They can develop independently of one another.
okay.
The east to west alley that Cheryl was referring to is staying intact. That is still there. That will go between there. The alley we are referring to, if you jump to page 106 in your packet, is an aerial. There's a little 15-foot north-south alley. That is the alley we're talking about vacating. Currently, they are operating under a license agreement for the use of that alley, and before the license agreement, it was historically just used by them. So that's why it's being built into the overall development, because it's kind of already is.
Okay.
The east to west is still intact.
So we're just cleaning up.
More cleanup. You're going to see a bunch of this come forward.
Okay.
Is it possible to get that on the,
Yeah, that'd be great.
do we have to call up the packet on that computer?
Or just go to like Google Maps or something.
Oh, I can do that.
That would be
That's
easier.
totally fine. Yeah. Dang. Maps.
It's like the #1 search on Bing is Google.
Really?
No thanks. Working up there, okay. One more. All right.
There you go.
So, we good? Oh,
Yep.
what? No, I don't want. Ardmore, the east-west alley that has recently been improved, that is not going anywhere. Right here is a 15-foot platted alley that clearly is not operating as an alley. It is built into what you would have known as the Sturley Funeral Home, but it is technically an alley on paper. That is the alley, the 15-foot alley that we're talking about vacating tonight. And they all currently already have a license agreement, and before that, if you go back to aerial photography, it's always been a part of their project.
And so then they will have the rights to that alley permanently? Is that
Yes,
the deal?
it will vacate it, put it as part of Lot 2 on the subdivision, which is, I think, is page 105. And then, so it'll be part of Lot 2 once that plat gets recorded. And then Lot 1 is up here, which is what you know as their parking lot, right here, and this is the location of the new build
Okay.
for the new funeral home.
Okay, that's a.
Yeah.
Trustee Alfano.
Are there any other businesses that use that particular alley? I understand the east-west one. Is there another
All-
business that uses the north-south?
All of this parking under license agreement is for Sterling.
Okay.
Yeah, there isn't, they do have we have, in the number of places where we have found that there has been use of a public alley or something, and in lieu of vacation in the short term, we've done these license agreements. So we've been aware of this for some time. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
any other
thanks, Mark.
questions up here?
This is a much cleaner process.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, any other questions? Okay, Clerk Renecki, please.
Okay, trustee Alfano,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Cordova,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
President Kazone.
Yes. Okay, item 11A is a resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and approving a contract and contract change order number 1 for the construction of the Lufkin Park renovation project. Manager Harline.
This resolution approves the labor contracts for the construction and installation of amenities in Lufkin Park. The village received competitive bids for the installation of park equipment at Lufkin Park, and all bids were well over the estimated amount. In order to minimize the additional funds from the village corporate funds, items were deleted from the bid, and village staff will do the installation of several items. Staff recommends approval of a resolution to award the lowest responsible bid and approve change order number 1 to reduce the amount of the original bid for construction of a bathroom shelter, performance shelter, ninja obstacle course, accessible playground, sensory garden, spray pad and concrete pad, and observation fishing pier to Innovation Landscape in Oswego, Illinois. The net amount of the bid would be $1,052,277. And to be one quick important note, We had 2 other bids. We removed the amount for those other items from all 3 bids, and they were still the low bid, and that's in the packet, so.
Okay, thank you.
We have Dan Dalzell here from 3D Design. Oh, there he is. Sorry, you were in the back row earlier. And Greg Gola, Parks and Recreation. And if you have any questions of staff, we'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Cordova? Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Kumar? Questions or comments? Trustee Kumar?
I just want to say, since you're out here, I really like what's happening there. It looks really nice. The sign is great. I'm very impressed that people are walking, and the traffic has been great around there. They're all enjoying the whole process. Thank you for getting it done. And thank you to Parks and Rec as well. They've been on it. They've been very supportive of the process and have done a great job there.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Cordova?
We had to make the decision, or the board had to make the decision years ago to shut down the pool at Lufkin Park. We had multiple rounds of community input to see what people wanted. I moderated 2 of them, which was wonderful. And so seeing this come to fruition, and we're seeing it come out, is a testament to the hard work that the staff has done, and Dan has done, Parks and Rec, Commission, everything. So this is a highlight, I think, and a milestone for Villa Park, and I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, thanks. Okay, anyone else? Okay. Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, trustee Alfano,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Cordova,
Yes.
President Kazone.
Yes. Okay, item 11B is a resolution waiving the competitive bid process and approving an agreement with Corrective Asphalt Materials LLC of South Roxana, Illinois for the 2023 Pavement Rejuvenation Program in an amount not to exceed $105,521.81. Manager Harline.
The village utilizes a rejuvenating agent known as Reclamite as part of its preventive maintenance program to extend the life of asphalt roadways that have recently been resurfaced or reconstructed. And recently is kind of a relative term. It's not like 1 or 2 years. It's usually, 7, 8, 10 years since they've been, how long? It is 1 to 3 years since they, okay, rejuvenate. I thought it was more lengthy than that. Due to the limited applicators for this type of product, the village has historically received 1 bid for this work, so staff is recommending waiving the bidding requirements and awarding the contract to Corrective Asphalt Materials LLC of South Roxana, Illinois, in the amount of $105,521.81. Director Guerra, who obviously understands the process better than I do, is here to answer questions. We have not found anyone else in the area who sells this proprietary product.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kumar, do we have a second? Trustee Alfano, any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Alfano,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Cordova,
Yes.
President Kazone.
Yes. Item 11C is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving supplement number 1 to the engineering services agreement with Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. of Itasca, Illinois, for Phase 1 preliminary engineering of the Tri-Trail Connector for additional work and costs in an amount not to exceed $38,658. Manager Harline.
This amendment supplements the original agreement with Civil Tech for the Phase 1 engineering for the Tri-Trail Connector to account for several design iterations due to changes in the proposed land and request from the Illinois Department of Transportation during the initial design. All justifications can be found outlined in Civil Tech's proposal that is attached. Village staff agrees that Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. request is justified and recommends approval of Supplement 1 to the agreement for an additional $38,658. And Director Guerra from Public Works is here if you want to ask, if you need any further explanation of the supplement number 1 change.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kozar, we have second. Trustee Cordova, questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Alfano,
Yes.
Trustee Kozar,
Yes.
Trustee Cordova,
Yes.
President Casone.
Yes. And item 11D is a resolution setting the date and time for a public hearing and joint review board meeting for tax increment financing district number 7. Manager Harline.
Village staff have prepared a resolution proposing a redevelopment plan and project for the designation of the Charles Road Commercial Corridor redevelopment project area and the adoption of the tax increment allocation financing, convening a joint review board, and then calling a public hearing on January 9, 2024 at 7 p.m. at Village Hall. Staff recommends approval of the resolution. Community and Economic Development Director Mark McLaughlin is here and can answer any questions about the TIF process if you want.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion for the resolution?
I'll make
Trustee
the
Alfano?
motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Kumar? Any questions or comments? Trustee Alfano?
I would just ask village staff to make sure that this is advertised multiple times throughout December and throughout the holidays and not just like the week before or a few days before, just because December is a pretty busy month and people like to plan with January 9th being right after all of the busy season. I would like to see that happen on social media and elsewhere.
Okay. Trustee Kozar?
Will this meeting be recorded, put on YouTube so people who can't attend?
It'll be directly before one of our, it's basically going to be immediately
See it
before a
on-
board meeting, so yeah,
Okay,
it would
so
be.
yes, it will be.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Oh, wait a minute, that's January 9th. January 9th is a Tuesday.
Is it supposed to be on the Tuesday? Or is it supposed to be on January 8th?
January 8th
Okay.
is a Monday.
Correct.
And
The
is that what's in the resolution?
public hearing is supposed to take place. So it'll
So,
be between the cow, and then the first thing we do is public hearing, and then regular board meeting will.
Okay, because on our agenda, it says January 9th.
well, is it in the resolution or is it in
It's in
just
the
the stuff on?
Okay.
Definitely January 8th, Monday. So if you could amend, that'd be appreciated.
Yeah, the memo
Okay.
is wrong, but the
The agenda,
agenda
or
has
the-
it right.
the
It's
resolution says, okay.
Thanks for that catch.
Okay. Okay.
The resolution is correct. It is 7 PM on the 8th day of January 2024 at Village Hall here on page 277 of the packet, so.
That's the correct.
Okay, good, thank you. Thanks for clearing that up, okay. Okay, so it would be January 8th, 2024 at 7 o'clock here.
Yes, so answer, yes, is part of this.
Trustee Kumar?
Do we need to make a motion to amend the agenda?
No, the amendment, or the resolution actually has it in there. It's just, the memo said that it's the 9th.
Okay.
Good, thanks.
And there has been, President Casone, if I could, we've already done several pieces, several events to start to educate the public about this TIF, and if you, Director McLaughlin could fill you in on some of those efforts that have gone on already, if you'd like.
Just Kumar.
I think irrespective, there should be a communication plan that starts early, as trustee Alfano suggested. And it's very helpful, the information that has gone out. I attended one of those TIF discussions, and it was very enlightening and helpful to the community that was there at large, so thank you for that. But irrespective how many ever events we do, not everybody comes to every event, and this is the major event we're having, it should be publicized.
Oh,
in a proper
and I wasn't suggesting we don't do that, but I just want to make sure you know that we are trying to get, we have already met with school boards, et cetera, and it's important to get that information out so that people understand, because it would be very helpful to be able to proceed on January 8th. And, but yeah, so we'll continue to get the word out and then have the discussion at Joint Review Board and then at the public hearing on January 8th.
Trustee Alfano.
So I did attend on October 2nd, and I think that the PowerPoint that you had, or the slideshow, really kind of explained very succinctly to residents and the concerns that came in from what I heard. I think people came in kind of hot, some people, and I think that as it was explained, their opinion might not have changed, but they did understand where things were coming from. And I think that it might be beneficial to put that out somewhere on the website, to have that beforehand, because I do think it was really something, the feedback that I received was, oh, that's what that is. And they really understood it that way, so.
President Zone, and the point I'm trying to get across is, let's have as much of this discussion before January 8th, because hopefully, and I'd love to have people show up and hear the public hearing and to participate, but if that's the point where we hear complaints for the first time, that could throw the process off, and it could cost us, in the end, tax increment and cost the project some money. So we do want to hear as much input as possible. We will put that out there, but again, thank you for attending. And, you know, this discussion right here, if anyone stumbles across this meeting, we'd like to have the questions now, and we'd like to give the answers now. And if there's things we need to change, now is the time to make those adjustments if possible.
Yeah. And I was at the meeting too, and Director McLaughlin did a great job. You know, there were, like Trustee Alfano said, there were some heated questions, and he answered them very respectfully and very calmly, and I think everybody really came away with a better understanding. So it was good. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, Clerk Konecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Cordova?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano?
Yes.
President Costello?
Yes. Okay, item 12 is old business. I don't believe we have any old business. Item 13 was already moved up. Item 14A is new business, is posting audio recordings of Village Commission meetings for public access. Manager Harline, if you want to bring that up.
Sure, as this was actually the request of one of the trustees that we that we actually post the audio recorded meetings of the village commissions. The earlier motion we listened carefully to, it did not explicitly say the recordings would be made available to the public. If the board wishes, they may wish to make a motion to have the village staff upload the audio files to village YouTube site for public access. I will say, just remember, these are all volunteers, and we have several meetings already that are being broadcast and recorded and put out there. It is we don't want to put any of our volunteers in a situation where they say something in a casual manner on tape, so I just put that warning out there. Of course, staff will do whatever you guys ask us to do.
Okay. Any discussion on this? Trustee Cordova.
Which ones are currently not, semi-loaded question, which ones are not, on YouTube or recorded right now?
Well, go ahead.
Any of the ones that are just audio recorded are not loaded up to YouTube. Anything that's videotaped is loaded onto YouTube. Now, the audios can be made available if, a resident wants to FOIA them.
That's what I was going to ask them next is, if I were like, hey, I want to go check out the whatever commission. Just
Correct.
come in, pull, okay.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Correct. Trustee Alfano.
So you said that those audios can be FOIA'd, but they would have to go through, it just feels like there's some gatekeeping there if we're looking at transparency and access to local government. To have to come in and ask for them or to FOIA them is an extra step when we already have other access to other commissions. That's my opinion.
Okay. Trustee Kumar.
Yeah, I don't like this, some commissions getting one treatment and other commissions getting another treatment philosophy. I understand not videotaping everyone for whatever reason, cost being a large portion of that, but the audio recording, I think it should be fine. They all should, I think we should put that online. I mean, if people want to view it, they're there to give us information. You shouldn't have to FOIA everything all the time. It's a public meeting after all.
Trustee Kozar.
I think trustee Cordova was asking about what's not on. I believe the only ones that we are recording currently on YouTube is Parks and Rec, Planning and Zoning, Traffic and Safety. Those are the three.
Yep.
So everything else is not up on YouTube.
But they're all recorded.
But everything
They're all
is-
audio recorded.
Yeah. And I think it's an excellent idea just to make a link so people can listen to it at their leisure. I totally support getting that posted up.
Okay, all right, so if we, Clerk Konecki, we get a consensus on putting the audio tapes onto YouTube?
Okay, this is a consensus only.
Correct.
Okay, trustee Cordova?
Do a motion, because it's on the agenda.
Oh.
If someone wants to make a motion to post it.
Okay, so we have a motion to put the audio tapes onto YouTube. Trustee Kozar.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to post those on YouTube, the internet, or wherever else it makes sense to do so.
Okay, we have a second? Trustee Kumar? Okay, any other discussion? Okay, Clerk Konecki.
Okay. Trustee Cordova?
No.
Okay, and trustee Alfano?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
And President Kazone?
I vote no. So that does pass, and so we will start posting those on to YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go to item 14B, is a report from
I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
sure.
understand what just happened. So we are or are not posting those?
You are.
we will post them.
Yeah, 3 yeas.
It's 3 to 2. 3 yeas, yeah.
It's a motion, not a ordinance.
Okay,
Right.
got it. Thank you.
We have a report from the ICMA meeting that Manager Harline went to with proposed direction on strategic planning and customer relations management software. Harline.
At the recent ICMA conference, I was able to meet and discuss some potential vendors, 2 projects that were budgeted in 2023, but will actually take place in 2024 if moved forward. The first is to update the village strategic plan with elected officials. I received 4 proposals which were made available to the board, and I would like to proceed with offering a contract to CP2 Consulting. I'll bring that back to the next on official business and as a resolution. And the other is purchase of customer relations software. We've discussed 3 separate software options with 3 companies, and I'm going to have a recommendation at October 23rd. It's down. I basically have in mind who I want to offer it to, but there was one I want to clarify that the software would work with our other vendors. Want to keep you guys informed of what's coming forward. The strategic plan would allow some of the discussion that has come up with the evaluation, my position and setting goals. That's one of the things that you do in the strategic planning process, and I think that would you would get the final results around May, which would filter or would feed very nicely into a June evaluation, setting goals for the organization specifically for me to carry out, and would also we'd be able to take the CP2 proposal included some survey, public survey information, which would be distinct and different than what we're doing with comprehensive plan. Strategic plan is basically the next 5 years. What items is this board going to put their priorities on for emphasis, and particularly where are you going to put resources? This would follow this year's budgeting process. Originally, I'd hoped to get it ahead of this year's budgeting process, but with the workload and such, I didn't get it moving forward fast enough. This would be the idea of the proposal will come back slightly altered to meet the new timeline, probably having an on-site sometime late February, early March, ideally on a weekend where we can put some hours together. But, so that's what I'm looking forward there. And then one of the things I really would like to move forward with is customer relations management. We've done a lot of software updates in the village, and I'm trying not to subject the staff to software fatigue. But I think something that would be very useful to us is to have software to track requests as they come in, and this would give the staff an ability to monitor those requests as they come in across the staff, across the divisions, and also send automatic email reminders to whichever department is supposed to be making that response. There is a possibility that, I think in the long term, we try and open this up so citizens could track their own reports or their own requests. I think it's very important that we not start that way, because I think we need to make sure that we have our process in order before we promise something. So that's what the community customer relations management software would look like, and I'll bring that back.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so this is basically a consensus to allow the manager to bring up these two items at a later date. If there's any questions or comments, you'd like me? Trustee Kumar?
Yeah, I am very much in favor of the customer relations software. I think it will be a huge benefit to both staff and the customers, our citizens of Villa Park.
No, definitely. No, I agree. The manager and I have been discussing this for a little bit, so I definitely agree with that.
It's not very expensive. This is something in the neighborhood of $10,000 to $12,000. So it would be an annual cost, but that's.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else? Okay, this is a consensus to allow the manager to come up with these two items at a future date. Clerk Konecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Cordova?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Alfano?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
President Casone?
Yes. And item 14C is public comment on non-agenda items process. Mayor Darling.
Last meeting, Trustee Kozar made a request to consider moving public comment and on-agenda items to the beginning, and that's in quotation marks because that's exactly how it shows in our code right now, to the beginning of the meeting agenda. There are other changes proposed as well. Staff requests consensus from the board related to the order of business, and if so desire, we'll draft an ordinance amending section 2-406 of the Village Municipal Code. And some of the other things like new business and old business are not in the village code 406 right now, 2-406. And that's the other things I wanted to make sure that we have in the proper order so that we, the other possibility is to just have something saying that that we can adopt a order of business, annually or something like that, which might be a better solution, but not to lose track of the fact that the reason why we brought this onto the agenda was to move up the public comment on non-agenda items. I just figure if we're moving forward on something, maybe catch more birds in one nest than just that one.
Okay, and again, as our village attorney is, since this is going to come back, so we just need a consensus on this. So discussion. Trustee Alfano?
So at coffee with the board on Saturday, I know President Casone, we had heard from a resident who said that would likely, or could likely, moving this back up to the beginning of our meetings could help with community engagement, and I don't disagree with that. I think that it would be a lot easier for people to know that if they had something to say, they could come in, know that it is towards the beginning, and then go and do whatever else they may need to do.
Yep.
So I'm in favor of that. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Kumar?
Yeah, I also am in favor of moving it up. I would prefer the municipal code be changed, because whatever process we start, if it's in the code, it becomes something that people become aware of. At this point, some of our residents probably think you speak at the end and may show up 10 minutes before that they think the meeting is going to end. So in order to, once we codify it, at least it becomes a consistent process that everybody is aware of.
Okay, good.
Could I ask one other question in terms of the process and how we do this? Do you want to keep non-agenda item comment separate from agenda item comment? Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
It's nice they have the
Yes.
break there, one and then the other one, yeah.
Yeah, we should have them separate.
Okay. Okay.
I have one more question in new business. It's not about this necessarily. Where do we bring up cow topics? We
This would be.
should ideally bring it up at the cow. At the end, there should be something in that agenda.
Actually, I would think that it would be better to have it in this agenda because you can take official action.
Okay.
So if the, and maybe we should defer to the attorney to get a better opinion, a more educated opinion than mine.
Are you talking about adding items to a cow agenda or?
In the future, not
Right,
now,
okay.
right? So if we're making changes to the cow, there should be something, do you have changes, just like you have for anything else, like for our agenda, that's not there. And then when you're adding future, I think that's like new business that's coming. There should be something 15 right before we comment, say, do you have any suggestions for added topics or something like that, you know?
So we could evaluate that in the code when the committee of the whole was actually created. There are provisions that allow for addition of items on a committee of the whole agenda. That's codified as well. So we can evaluate that and then, bring it to the board as to whether that should be an agenda item or if you would like to just implement the process that's already in the code with respect to adding items on a committee of the whole agenda.
Okay, yeah, but I think it just makes it easier because a lot of us have been talking about them during our village trustees report. And that's how we've been adding things or discussing it or sending it. I think there should be a process that's consistent, irrespective.
So as we make this amendment, as Manager Harling was talking about, maybe there'll be some additional comprehensive things with respect to the order of business at the meeting that we can catch into the proposed ordinance on this, and that will be considered as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, this would be consensus to make some amendments to our municipal code. Clerk Konecki, please.
Okay, trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Cordova,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Alfano,
Yes.
President Casal.
Yes. Okay, item 15, Village Commission reports. We have none tonight. Item 16, the Village Clerk's report.
No report. Thank you.
Okay, Village Trustees report. We'll start on my left. Trustee Alfano.
Thank you, President Cazone. I just wanted to thank everybody who came out to the Autumn Jubilee on September 30th. It really was a warm day, but it was successful and it was a well-attended event. I was not able to attend the open house at the fire department, but I have heard from neighbors and residents that there was some very positive feedback and it was a fun afternoon of some time there. So I'm sorry I couldn't make it, but I did hear some really great things about it. And then to our volunteers on the commissions, I just wanted to say thank you for your commitment to our village. I know that there have been some changes, and I know that sometimes change can be complicated and can bring some feelings that may not always be pleasant, but we do appreciate your service and we do appreciate your work. So thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Kumar.
Hi, I have a couple of things that I want to discuss as to cow topics that I would like to add, kind of piggybacking a little bit off of Trustee Alfano. I want to thank all our commissioners. However, there is a lot of confusion as to what the commissions do, and there should be some kind of handbook that explains their purpose. We haven't had a cow on that, so I feel like I've discussed this before, but we need a discussion of a handbook for commissioners. We want to discuss the advisory scope of different commissions, what they do, discuss the process to run events, and kind of, I'm not sure what the process is to communicate with staff at this point. That has to be consolidated. So I'm suggesting in the next couple of months, a cow on all of the above in one meeting. I think at one point talked about that there are many Airbnbs in town. So I would like to discuss in a cow how to address these, because I heard that they're not actually allowed by our code. So we should have a discussion about, what needs to be done. I feel like if they are happening, we should at least get taxes from them. And I know other villages, as far as I saw on the site, have already posted that they get money from the Airbnb. I'm not sure if we do. I don't know how that works, but that's something that we need to have a discussion about too. Now, the Autumn Jubilee, I loved it. I attended it. It was a wonderful event. And I want to send a special shout out to Azana Jackson. She's the junior commissioner that just joined, and we just joined her into the Fun Commission last time we were at a meeting. She was awesome. A young girl, just going to go places, and I'm very proud of her, so I want to give a shout out to her. And I would like to give a shout out to our new member also of our new commission in Parks and Rec. Thank you, Ryan Pizarro, for joining Parks and Rec. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Trustee Cordova.
No report.
Okay, Trustee Kozart.
Audited financials. I believe that those were done as of Thursday, I just learned, so that's great. Ideally, when should audited financials come out?
Ideally, they should be in July or August at the latest. We are not, there's a lot more to that answer, but that's a short answer, July or August.
Okay. Let's see. We took a vote on the commissions being recorded in that. I'd like to see when we have special meetings, such as, I think it was the October 4th TIF meeting, that anytime we have a special meeting such as that at least audio be provided, or if there's slides or something like that, perhaps video or audio can attach those. A lot of people aren't able to attend, but like the October 4th TIF meeting, apparently there was a lot of good information. It was well presented. I would like to have that as a resource on our website or YouTube thereabouts, that at some point in the future you can go back and access and learn from. So it's just not a one-up thing. So I'd like to have that considered as we move forward. And then last thing I wanted to bring up is on January 23rd of this year, I had brought up in my trustees report that if we are to honor somebody, that the board is to honor somebody, that needs to be brought up to the board for some sort of discussion and not just thrown in the laps of the board to follow along. Since then, it's gone ignored. I want to bring it up. I don't know if we need to do a motion to that effect or a consensus to that effect, but it shouldn't be ignored. And I think if the board's going to take an action, they need to know about what that action is beforehand and have some discussion to it.
Okay, I don't know if anyone wants to make a discussion. The manager and myself are the ones that put the agenda together, and there's usually not a discussion with the board. Certain items the board may discuss, we've talked about like liquor licenses, having people come in on that, but as far as putting an honoring of someone, I think I don't think the board has to be brought in on that. I think if, the manager and I is putting the agenda together, that's the way our ordinance is written. And I don't see a problem with, I don't see why the board would have to be brought that up.
But you're asking for board participation in something. So I think that it's important. If you want to stand up alone and make some speech or presentation, have at it. But if you're asking for the board to do something, the board should have some discussion upon whether or not they want to entertain that.
For matters such as proclamations, those are proclamations of the village president, and so the village president can present those proclamations
No
at
problem.
the open board meeting. So usually those types of things that honor those are done via the proclamation of the village president, which would be within the authority of the president to make that determination, to do that at the public board meeting.
Right. But I'm not talking about proclamations, those are different. I'm talking about when you're putting forth to the board and saying, you as the village president want to honor somebody for personal reasons, political reasons, or whatever that may be, that go ahead and do that singularly. But if you're asking for the board to get behind you or be part of that, simple discussion to the board, such as, hey, are you interested, board, in doing that? You send out plenty of emails asking about liquor license and such. You could certainly do the same before you put the board in a situation.
But the board's not really put in any situation at all. I mean, it's just
Then
a
you shouldn't,
proclamation.
then you
know.
shouldn't have a problem if the board chooses not to honor somebody without any notice beforehand. So.
Well, it's up to the board. I mean, the board already
It is
showed.
up to the board.
No, it's up to the board whether or not they want to be involved, because the board showed at a recent one that they didn't want to be involved in it, and they didn't. So.
Right, but
It's
you
up to-
had,
no.
you sent out emails trying to disparage board members and shame board members for their actions. So what I'm trying to do is avoid that. If you want to have public discussion, which I think defeats your purpose, let's have public discussion over it. I'm simply saying, on January 23rd, I brought this up, and it has gone wholly ignored. So if you want to continue to ignore it, but live with the consequences.
Yeah, I mean, like our village attorney said.
She was referring to proclamations. That's different.
That's what we had, was a proclamation at that time.
Most often, and I'm not aware of a situation where someone was honored outside of a proclamation, but usually those individuals are recognized via a proclamation of the village president.
Trustee Cooper, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's a way also, I mean, this is irrespective of this, but since this point has been brought up, if you want to honor someone, what's the process to go about in getting someone else on the docket of a proclamation for whatever reason? I mean, like,
Well, in the case that you're discussing, as well as I think almost every other case, people from the community come forward. And for instance, tonight, we honored high school principal, or school principals. That came as a request from, Suzanne, you remember, it was at school districts. Yeah, I didn't know if it was more than one or, but.
okay, so
yeah.
anybody can go through the process of honoring whoever
Right.
they want, depending on, and
Right.
we have a selection. I'm just wondering how it goes about. I mean, I've never really had a problem.
I will say that Hispanic Heritage Month was something that I suggested. It didn't come from the community. Other things, that would, to be in full disclosure, I don't think that came out from the community, but I think pretty much everything else has come from the community. People saying, could you do something for somebody or something like that?
So these are kind of like just messages sent out from community to community.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
And there's certain ones that we do every year, you know, either like
Just,
a.
I mean, just curious at the process. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
That's the end of my report.
Okay. I will move on to the village president's report. A couple things. This Saturday, the 14th, from 12 to 3 o'clock, Villa Park Fire Department is having an open house at Station 81, 1440 South Ardmore. You'll be able to meet our fire department staff, and there'll be some demonstrations and usually some good cookies or some kind of food that they'll have. I know firemen love food, so there'll be some food there. Saturday, the 21st, from 9 to 12 is our electronic recycling at the Public Works Building on Home Street. This past Saturday was Brew Fest, and from what I saw, it was very well attended, and it was a perfect day for it, nice and cool, and it looked like everybody had a good time. I didn't hear of any of incidents or anything afterwards, but staff did a great job getting volunteers, or plenty of volunteers it looked like, and I'm sure a lot of people are aware of a student at Willbrook High School that passed away several weeks ago, and tomorrow is actually World Mental Health Day, and so I thought, after talking with our police chief, tonight would be a good time to talk about 988, which is the National Suicide and Crisis Hotline. And a lot of people think this is strictly suicide, but it's also crisis. If you're in a crisis situation, call 988. There's always someone there to talk to, and it's always good to be able to speak to somebody, especially, like I say, tomorrow is World Mental Health Day. And finally, I know it was talked about a little bit by Joe Maury. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so thanks for Suzanne for getting those T-shirts. I think she's still got a few of them left if anyone is interested in making a donation to the breast cancer awareness. And that's all I have. And we'll go to the village manager's report.
Just a couple of items. If you get a call from a local business and if they want to know about a letter sent out from my office about Business View magazine, that is a legitimate request. We've been solicited by Business View magazine to be a feature story in their November magazine, and one of the things they ask in return is that we solicit local businesses to advertise. There is no quid pro quo. They don't have to have a certain number of advertisers, but since they're featuring Villa Park, it is an opportunity to have them featured while they're looking at Villa Park. So I know that I talked to Keeley Construction today. We're going to talk. I got a tour of their building. We're going to talk about what would be valuable to the village in that respect. So those are legitimate email letters. It's up to the business if they want to. The article is not dependent on that. Next committee of the whole, what we had in the future meeting requests was to do that on commissions, and I was going to ask for more guidance, and Trustee Kumar has given me some good guidance on that, and we can there's some material that So I think I can answer some of those questions with some material, which we'll send out ahead of the committee of the whole. But unfortunately, one of the commissioners who was, one of the trustees has been very interested in this is not here tonight. And one of the ideas was what can we get, more empowering or getting more value out of the volunteers that we have placed on these commissions. There will be a budget meeting a week from tonight, and if we can start at 6, if that's okay with everyone's schedule, we can get everybody home pretty early, and we can get staff home earlier. And then we'll probably need a closed session after the next regular meeting, and that has to do with moving forward on the project at where AK Mulch used to be. So.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have no executive session tonight, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Trustee Cordova, we have a second? Trustee Kumar, okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, any opposed? Okay, our next meeting, as the manager said, we have a budget meeting next, on the 13th, and our next regular... 16th.
Well, you caught the one on the 8th and 9th,
yeah,
which
there you
is
go.
much more important.
And our next board meeting is the 20th, so everyone have a great week.